Hello, welcome to Flosstube number 3. This is Stitchin' Books. My name is Jill. I'm 35 years old. I live in the greater LA area by the beach. This is a channel primarily about cross stitch with some book talk. I will have a book to talk about today. That will be at the end. But welcome or welcome back. I am just so overwhelmed and grateful for everybody who stops and watches this video, subscribes, comments. It really means the most to me. I'm overwhelmed by the support of this community and it's so wonderful to be here. So that is kind of, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm so thankful to be here. It's wonderful joining this community. I know I love watching Flosstube, and making these videos is actually kind of a lot of fun. And I'm happy to be here. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see. If not, cool. See you another time, and we'll just go from there. Let's jump into it because I don't have that much of a life update. I usually want to put this at the front because I'm a nosy person, and so sometimes I don't want to wait until the end of the video to get the life update. So I'll just keep it short and sweet right now. Everything's going really well. I am thriving. I'm working a lot. And it's not even summer yet. So I'm a little apprehensive of what's gonna happen in the summer because schedules always get crazy. I'm a nanny, should have said that earlier. I'm a professional nanny, so I work with a couple families here locally. I do have a couple trips coming up. I work as a travel nanny too, coming up this summer. That's always fun. But yeah, so everything's going really great. Work is great. Personal life is great. Yeah, I've just been going through the motions. It's just week after week. I've done a lot of stitching, so I have a lot to show you, which I'm so excited about. So I think we will just get into it. Starting off, I have a couple finish for now. So in my previous video, Flosstube 2, talked about my recent purchase with the Manning May SAL that is hosted by the Museum Stitcher, the Seattle Stitcher, Cam the Stitcher, and Marjorie Maid. I purchased 3 that I talked about in the last video, and so I started the Sidewalk Cafe. And that is when I talked briefly about it, but I have a plan. I'm gonna stitch them individually instead of as the one whole piece. So I have a couple finishes for now, if we can call that. So the first one is going to be this one. So I'm stitching this on a 14 count Aida. I know, and let me tell you really quickly, Aida, come on, you can do this. I have a hard time when I first started stitching this, hard time stitching on this Aida. I couldn't get I couldn't see behind the fabric as I'm trying to poke the needle through. The hardest time stitching this, the hardest time. I don't know what it was. Like, I stitch on linen, predominantly on linen. I've done up to 40 count, 28 count. I'm still trying to find my sweet spot for linen. I had the hardest time stitching on this Aida. It was like I wanted the needle to come up in this area and the needle was all the way over here. Like, my hand-eye coordination was not working for this. I do not know what was going on, but it's getting better now. I've done this one, and here's number 2. So these are 2 of the 9 little squares that I'm gonna do. It got better with this. I will say, it is nice working on Aida. Don't think I'm a full Aida convert right now, but this is what I'm doing when I'm in the car pickup line or when it's late at night and I'm just babysitting and, you know, the kids are asleep and I just want to put a couple stitches in something. It's really easy. I don't have, you know, it's not a lot of color. They all use the same colors and it all fits very nicely in a little project bag that I have that I made. I made myself a couple project bags. We'll do that at the end. I won't bore you with that right now. But I'm learning to like it and I like this project. So once I get, like, it's kind of how I did here. Once I got like all the intricate details and I just had this very, very light blue fill-in, that is what I just would do in the pickup line. Because I wouldn't need a pattern, I could just do fill in for the light blue and just go from there. And that was really, really easy, a lot of fun. So these are my 2 finishes for now. I will have, what is that? 7 more. I do have to stitch this 4 times. So I need 3 more of these, and then I just need 1 more of this, and then 2 other new designs. One is the center tile that I have to do, and then another border piece that will only need to be stitched twice. So these are my finish for nows. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm learning to like Aida. I still love my linen, but this is good car stitching. Good car stitching. Let's go into WIPs. Now, this month has been a very particular, unique month. Like I mentioned before, I put a lot of like new starts on my WIPGO board just because they had been fully kitted up purchases that I just never got to. So that's what I wanted to put on my WIPGO board. So month of May, I know it's mania. It just so happened to work out that I did a lot of new starts this month as well. So I kind of joined in the mania mayhem. So this next WIP I have for you is, this is Modern Butterfly by Box and Fox. I do like their patterns. I haven't quite decided if they're a pattern mill because they are just mock-ups, but you know, I haven't found any discrediting information that would suggest otherwise, so I really enjoy them. I like all their patterns. So this is my progress on Modern Butterfly, and this is 10 hours of work. And I really enjoyed this. This is being stitched on 28 count loose weave oyster linen from that random linen manufacturer that I found on Etsy. It is such a fun, easy stitch. I started a new book while I listened to this. So when I look at this piece, I'm kind of reminded of that book. Move out to the right side and up, try to get there so I can make progress because I stitch in hand. So this is my progress on Modern Butterfly. They have several other butterflies in their collection, so definitely check them out. Highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. They're great detailed pictures. I don't know what else to say. I like them. Go check them out. So many different designs. So this was one of my WIPGO calls and a new start. So that has been a lot of fun to stitch on. And even though it's done, I kind of am associating this piece with like that book that I was reading. It's Ink Blood Sister Scribe, and I really like it. And like it kind of like, it's like a magical realism book. So I kind of am associating this piece with that, and I'm at 64% of that book. So I do want to finish it. So I might pull this back out and work on it, but I wanted to give time and attention to all of my other like plans. And so that's why I haven't finished that book or picked this back up. This is just the 10 hours. So many, I could use fray check, but there's so many loose ends here. They eventually like go away after a while. And this was fresh cut for this piece. So brand new. Next WIP that I have for you is my Lavender and Lace First Angel of Light. It is my Christmas angel, my stitch that I'm going to do for my mom, even though she says she's done with angels. I know it's grim, but we joke about it all the time. You know, when she goes, like, I'm probably going to inherit the majority of her angel stash. So this will eventually get returned to me. But anyway, so this is my Lavender and Lace. Fun, it looks like a little Christmas stitch. So I started this one, and I know in my last video I talked about trying to find a project that would work with my Stitch in Pages book club coming up, and I picked this one. So that is the progress on this. So this is her. And middle start, worked my way up to the upper right, and it just so happened to be her face. Does anybody watch Doctor Who or have seen Doctor Who, especially the second new season with David Tennant? It was when Martha Jones was his companion. This reminds me of an alien that is in that Doctor Who episode, and I will insert a picture to compare that because it's absolutely hilarious when I got done with my 10 hours. So WIPGO call completed, because this was a call for April that I never got around to. I stopped, I looked back, and it reminds me of this alien in that in that episode. So this is being stitched on a 32 count platinum Belfast linen. It's a bit lighter than what is called for, but it is turning out so great. I will say I hate the needle that I am stitching this with. It's just a DMC like 28 tapestry needle, so something that is better suited for one strand, because when I try to pull 2 strands through this needle, it just scratches and it feels like it's going to fray or rip. So far, I haven't had an issue. This is done with kit threads, but it was all DMC. Her face is gorgeous. Look at that face. I tried to do the 1/1, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I really was doing 2/1, and so they were not looking that good at all. So I frogged that and then just did the 2/2. I like it. I don't think this piece really needs the 1/1 for the face. So I'm just very happy with it. I finished the book that I'll talk about at the end, a single thread for the stitching pages. But this will be a Christmas in July piece, so spoiler, I will be bringing this out for Christmas in July. It's a lot of fun, so there's that one. Next WIP I have for you, another new start, and this is gonna be, it was on the WIPGO as new start, and this is the project that I fit in there. It is my Italian Lemons by Kooler Design Studio. Absolutely love this piece. A recap, it is, I'm stitching it in honor of / hoping to give to my cousin who's getting married in Italy in September. Hoping to have it done by then. We'll see. You guys can put your guesses and your bets in to see if I will get it done, because here is my progress. I know what you're gonna say. That is a very tight margin, and you are absolutely right. This is very tight. I have 100% plans on doing the framing myself and finishing and all that. I kind of already like found the frame on Amazon that would work for this, so I know it's very tight. Good news, this is the farthest over that this will get. So this is all gonna be folded over, finished. I'll have to figure out how to do finishing for that. I am choosing to do the back stitching while I do this. But yeah, so this is Italian Lemons, stitching this on a 32 count vintage Sahara Belfast linen by Zwiegart. It is a printed linen. You can't really tell, but there's a little bit of modeling, striping on this side, nothing on that side. Yeah, I'm stitching this 2/2 kit threads. I will say these threads on this kit are absolutely horrible. They're not DMC, or I don't know if they're Anchor. I don't know what comes in these kits, but they're crunchy. And I've tried steaming them, and I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I did steam my Floss Drops the other day and posted it on Instagram, and got a couple of funny responses, but I'm not the only one that has thought of it or has done that, steaming their floss, especially after bobbinating them and putting them on Floss Drops. But I was hoping if I steamed the floss in this kit, it would make them a bit softer, but it's not. So I'm not too happy about that. Do I wish it was DMC? Sure. Is there a DMC conversion? No. Is there like numbers associated with this kit? Yes. Do I know what they brand they're for? Absolutely not. So I'm pushing through it. At least I got a fabric that I like. I do enjoy stitching on this. So started in the middle, worked my way up. I really was like concerned with the margins, so that's also why I kind of wanted to go and do the back stitching, because you can tell there's just a couple like half stitches in here. or back stitching up there. So I really wanted to get that going. So that's why I'm back stitching at the same time. Plus it's kind of like a full coverage piece and I'd rather do it as I go to make it motivating to work on it. And it is. I love back stitching, the effect it has on pieces. So that will be fun. My final new start for the month, I decided was going to be the Amur Leopard. I understand in my last video, Flosstube 2, I kept calling it the Amur Lemur. So if you were screaming at me and correcting me the entire time, feel free. Watching back and editing that video, I was screaming at myself too. So it's the Amur Leopard from the Endangered Species Club by WIPGO. I picked that one and we decided to go for it. But I will say this one is going into timeout, but it's my own fault more than anything else. So here is my progress on it. I've only put in 3 hours of work on this. And I'm assuming you can see why it's going into timeout. So I decided to stitch this on some linen that I had in my stash. It was a mispurchase from when I was trying to buy more of that 28 count oyster loose weave linen. I just bought this and they had changed into this manufacturer. And as you can tell, it's not 28 count, but it's also not perfectly square. It is 36 count going this way. And then like a 44 count going this way. So my leopard is being a bit long and lean, and I don't want my leopard to be long and lean. I want him to be exactly as charted, and I'm having an issue with that. So I'm thinking, yes, I could get different fabric, but that would be spending more money, and I already have a yard of this fabric. I could use this fabric for like making project bags or making some clothes for myself, and I might end up doing it, dyeing, whatever. But I think I'm gonna put this in timeout on this as it stands. And when I'm ready to meet it again, I'm going to cut another piece of fabric and then stitch it this way and see if I like the short and fat leopard more than the long and lean leopard. So that's kind of my thought process on it. When I first started stitching it, you know, broken record, start in the middle, work my way up. You can't really see those stitches. But I had only done like half the face and couldn't really tell that it was not going to be perfectly square. I remember watching AlyRebekah's Copious Spare Time Flosstube that someone had mentioned to her that using non-cross stitch linen, your piece could turn out wonky. And she's doing the Scandi SAL. She's working on this Scandinavian Quaker piece, which is lovely, but she was like, yeah, my gnome in the middle or at this bottom corner is gonna be a bit longer than he is wider. And then that got into my head and I started freaking out as I was stitching this because I was like, oh, because when I then finally came like across and did up there, I could tell it was not gonna be perfect. And then I counted my squares and yeah, it's not. And I was like, it's fine, it's unique, it'll be my piece, it's fine. I'm realizing I'm not fine with that. So I'll have to put this in timeout and then cut another piece, flip it and start it this way and see how I like that look of it. Because I was thinking, you know, Steph from Lindy Stitches, like she does a really good job with charting. Like that's why I want to stitch on these pieces. And I think that's what anybody who purchases a pattern wants to have it look like what was advertised, right? And so this is my error, nobody's error but mine. I'm also like, could I stretch it and maybe force it to be square? But then it would be a bit loose, but it's fine. This linen is a dream though. It is soft. Like as I was stitching it, it was a wonderful dream to stitch on. So I am a little bit sad about that because I do love it. I have a whole yard of it. I'll make something, I'll use it. I just was hoping to work from stash because there's gonna be 6 endangered species for this club. So I was like, well, I have a yard of it. I can just cut 6 pieces of this and be good. I'm glad I didn't cut 6 pieces already because that would have been ineffective. But yeah, so I was gonna go in timeout, but that was another new start that I had planned, so I met that goal. Final whip I have for you today is my Christmas stocking for my mom. This is the Gardener's Delight Heirloom Stocking by Kooler Classic Charts, designed by Sandy Orton. That I have absolutely love this piece, love it. But I was watching Flosstube, and I do believe it was SavorySewing, that she, on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of every month, or most months, she stitches Christmas. Elizabeth from SavorySewing. And I was like, I think that is what I want to do for this project. So every month for 3 days, 2 days, 2 hours a day, 6 hours a month, pretty big, decent chunk of time. I get to work on my Christmas stocking. So this page is done. I've been working on this watering can, finishing out this side of the chart, kind of taking these colors as long as I can go. I'm working off of the PDF, but not in an app. So I will say this chart is the one chart where I would consider getting like Markup RXP or Pattern Keeper or whatever to mark my stitches. So then I can just pick a symbol, highlight it, and it will show up everywhere that it is stitched, because I sometimes take one color and I'm going along and then I think it's done, and then when I switch to do another color, I'm like, oh, I missed a teeny tiny quarter stitch right here, or I missed, something. So I will say, I'll get you a closer look. I will say it would be nice to kind of have everything highlighted, but it's okay. I'm working through it. There's a lot of color changes. Some are blends too, but I mean, look at that back stitching on like the first page that I finished. It's amazing. So I've been working down here, trying to fill in this, go across here, fill in all these colors, pick a color, and it'll pop up several places. But it's been a lot of fun to work on this. And yeah, so I do think, and this will also come out for Christmas in July. So it will get a decent chunk of time then, but I do think moving forward, the 24th, 25th, and 26th of every month, I'm going to pull this out and get at minimum 6 hours of stitching on this. It does go slower, so I do kind of think I need a little bit more time than that, but we're gonna keep going at it. I don't have a timeline on here. It's just, I want to get it done. And selfishly, my mom is stitching my nephew's stocking, and then my sister-in-law's mom is stitching my niece's stocking. And I kind of want to finish this before they finish. My niece's stocking will be probably like another 1 or 2 years, but my mom is determined to get my nephew's stocking done. And I kind of want to beat her. Again, I'm really competitive with myself, or with frivolous things. Like, get me in a game of Monopoly against a 12-year-old and I'm super, super competitive. I did win, like recently I won. That was a lot of fun for me. That was a great day, great nanny days when I win in Monopoly. But so I can be very competitive. So I really want to finish this before my mom finishes my nephew's stocking. To be fair, mine is a lot more complicated. She's doing a dimensions chart. Not a dimensions gold, but a dimensions chart. I don't have it to show you, so why am I telling you? But this is my stocking. I love it. It's a lot of fun. So loving the progress on that. This month I broke out my sewing machine, and I spent all of Mother's Day trying to get my tension to work, because I was determined. I had a bunch of fabric that I got from the craft thrift store Remainders in Pasadena, and I was like, I am running out of project bags, and I'm obviously have started so many new projects. I don't have anywhere to put them, and I want to make project bags. I had the zippers, I had the fabric, I was ready to go. So I spent probably like 2 hours fixing my tension. But anyways, I did that, and then so I made for the Endangered Species Club, I made myself a little project bag. This is fabric that my mom brought back for me from Australia when she went, and I was like, this is perfect. This is absolutely the perfect fabric for the Endangered Species Club, so all of my projects will fit in here. It's big enough. I have lined it with just some fabric I had. I put this really pretty purple zipper on there. But yeah, it's a decent size. I'm so like chuffed with myself. Like, this is just like so fun. I'm so impressed that I've been able to do that. And then I made this project bag as well. This is project bag number 1. This is the first one I made. It's a little bit smaller. As you can see, there's stripes going this way. I cut it specifically because I didn't want it to go vertically, because I didn't want to have to worry about lining it up. This is lined as well. This is currently housing my Sidewalk Cafe, the Carolyn Manning piece. So that is this project bag. Again, it fits in my purse, just dump it in there. I stitch in hand, so I don't need to have any sort of hoop or anything, and it's on Aida, so really just the floss, some scissors, and my project. It works great in this one. And then my next one is this beauty. This is the one. This bag is really why I made these project bags too. It's because I had the lavender and lace angel, and then my Italian lemons. They both live in here. It fits, don't worry about it. Lined zippers. Zippers are hard for my machine. I don't have the right foot, but they have all their floss on Floss Drops. This one's the Italian lemons. It looks very pretty. It's the crunchy floss. And these, let me just say this, for the lavender and lace, the kit came with the floss this length. Very short. Very short. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. So those are my project bags. Those are also the only other finishes, if you want to call them finishes, that I have. But I'm just so proud of these bags. These bags are so fun. I love this little print. I have more of this too, so I'm probably gonna make several. I don't really know what I would do with more than one. I don't know. I have an Etsy shop, but it's more for like paper products and like eco stickers that I do for kids and stuff. So I don't know if I would sell these on that. Make them for other people. Don't know. Let's go into haul. I don't have a lot because I'm trying to be more mindful and not buy a lot, because I have more than enough projects to keep me busy all throughout summer and for the foreseeable future. So don't have a lot of haul, but I do have something. In the last video, I shared my quest on finding the right gray fabric for one of the Novel Notions mystery charts, and as I was editing it, I said, if I find something on a D-stash group that could work, I'll get it. Well, I found something on a D-stash group. This is a 40 count Atomic Ranch Fabrics. It was a limited edition, so it doesn't really have a name. It's LE21823, but it's a 40 count. Green gray, so I get that green gray that I kind of wanted, but look at this. There's so many different like that-eighths that I could use to stitch it. Like if I wanted like more of this, there is blue like in that bottom one, but I was even thinking like over here, or it's not as gray. I am on a struggle with gray. If anybody can find me a 40 count gray green fabric, I'll put the picture of what I want for the pattern that I want it for. Anybody can find or has something in their stash that they would be willing to de-stash or sell to me at a reasonable price, I'll pay shipping. Please let me know. DM me on Instagram, Stitch and Books, send me a comment here, and we'll get in touch some way, somehow. But please, grays are hard. Grays are hard to find, but I think this could work. I'm kind of liking it enough, and it's so pretty that, yeah, so found it on a D-stash group right after I said I was done. But I don't know, it looks great. I really like it. So I'm excited. One, I've never stitched on Atomic Ranch, so that will be fun. I'm kind of liking the feeling so far, so that'll be fun to stitch on. So I got this piece of fabric. So when I went back to, after I made those 2 project bags, I needed to go back because I ran out of zippers. So when I'm there at the thrift store, I want to go through their charts. I am loving, here's a little shout out, I'm loving Wolfystitches with all of her vintage charts that she is able to find. She's here on Flosstube, and I really need to get better at writing down the names because it's more respectful if I say your name. So I will have your name on the screen right here, and I apologize for not remembering. You know what, I'm gonna find it right now. Wolfie? Lindsay. So Lindsay is able, like, I think that's part of her like small business is thrift reselling, but she always is able to find some really great vintage charts, and I'm always so like motivated. I'm like, oh, her thrift stores, they're pricey. You don't really get great deals except for this crap thrift store. I'm going on a tangent. Anyways, I love the vintage charts that Lindsay is able to source from her charity shops over in England. And so I went through their cross stitch. It's a lot of stuff that I'm not attracted to, but I was able to find a couple. So first up is this, what is Flights of Fancy, Serendipity Designs by Carolyn Meekham. Flights of Fancy, but look at this cute little butterfly and flower. I have no clue, but it just looks so cute and vintage. Like, look at the little details. So that's my first piece of haul. Next, I have this one, which is very, very fun. So this is a Permin. Like, I took this out of the plastic. This was a full kit. The Flights of Fancy was a full kit too. It came with the John James needle, full DMC threads, and the fabric. This one came with the threads, which is all DMC, no needle and no fabric, but it's this design right here. So it's that little vintage country cottage. I thought it was absolutely adorable. Like just the right kind of like vintage that I'm looking for. I would love to find this one too and do them together, but this is the chart that I have. I'm like 99% sure that's the right chart. I mean, the arrow is pointing, so I do think that is it. But look at that. So cute. It was purchased because the sticker on the kit was from Solvang Needlework. And Solvang in California is this little town. I think it's like hour, 2 hours away, maybe 3. But it's all Dutch themed. And this is Danish. Maybe it's a Danish town. I just know it's Nordic, like, you know, that kind of European vibe. But Permin is a Danish company. So I absolutely, this was my vintage score for that trip. So super excited to get it. And then this I found at the thrift store, full kit. Although to be fair, this is, on the back it says it's charted for like fancy floss, but there's thread in the pack and like these rings. You know what? It's probably this floss that's in the pack. For the finishing, it's probably, I don't know, but it has like these little rings and thread, but it's all kind of bundled together. It's not separated. And this is charted for fancy floss, like Classic Colorworks, Weeks, and another one. Got this for $1. All these kits were for $1. But again, I could do this for a smalls. I don't know what the finished stitch size is because it's not on the back of this. But I got this from the crafts thrift store. I thought that was like a score. I bought it because I knew heartstring sampling is kind of more of like a modern or newer designer as opposed to like these other more vintage kits. So picked that up because I was like, that seems like a steal. And I could get around to stitching it. Maybe it'll come up, or I gift it. I often save things from there that I think are cool, and then I will gift it to my stitchy group or someone else. The final piece of haul that I got, which is very out of character. Yeah, it's Needlepoint Originals by Jan Anderson. But look at that. I think it's such a fun Christmas, Victorian Christmas ribbon. Such a fun Christmas, like, sampler almost. Jan Anderson was from South Lake Tahoe, California. This is what the address that it says down here. So don't know exactly where this came from, but, and it is needlepoint, like, and it's all kind of, I mean, it has the skeins. I'm not going to show you the full chart, but it kind of has like, it tells you how to do these specialty stitches that are kind of like, you won't be able to see. But there's a lot of specialty stitches in here. So I thought that would be just a fun sampler, right? Sampler is for figuring out like little stitches like that. So I thought it would be fun to work on or just try my hand at. Very different, but I thought it was really cute. Yeah, so that was my last little thrifty vintage chart haul that I got. Just kidding. I also got, I guess that's haul because it was purchases, but stash acquisition. I was gifted this from my stitchy group. This magazine, she has watched my whip parade and she brought this to see if I would want to stitch something from it. And I was like, sure, I will take it. I will look at it. She had an, I think it was either, was it an extra or you were just like de-stashing? But anyways, she had this, she gifted it to me. Normally I get my magazines off of my Libby app. It's free through my local library, and get the PDFs from there. But having an actual one is fun from time to time. And plus there's a lot of great adverts for some Mill Hill kits. Haven't tried one of those yet, but I might be inclined to do a Mill Hill kit. Who knows? That's my haul. Really excited, super excited about this fabric. Don't know if I will actually do anything with it, but it was a 40 count, grayish. Again, anybody has grays that they're willing to part, that's 40 count. Please let me know and see if it works out for both of us. Really quick for plans because I have to leave. I've lost track of time. I plan on doing the, from Michelle I saw it today, Michelle from Chinook Crafter, Raccoon June. Gonna pull out my raccoon whip that you saw in my last video for that one. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Gonna keep working on WIPGO. WIPGO calls for June were called, and it was a, it's a new start. It actually says new start in my chart. And for number 25 and number 2, it was another embroidery. It's my flower cart embroidery that I showed in my whip parade. So still haven't worked on my other embroidery project. So June might just be an embroidery month. Also, I plan on, I really do want to like join in on the strawberry Moon SAL that Marjorie Maid is hosting. I just don't have any strawberry patterns, but I was on 123 Stitch and I did see a very fun strawberry pattern that I'm thinking about getting, but I can only get the like paper pattern and I can't find like a PDF version of it anywhere. I can do it, I just scan it into my computer, but yeah, so those are like the only plans. And again, I have plans for July. I have a trip at the end of June, so I'll have to like bring a lot of stuff, which is fine. I'm an overpacker. I always check a bag. But so I have plans for July, but June is kind of like a low month. So I want to work on like the couple projects that I have. Oh, I was going to talk about books. I read A Single Thread. Listened to that while I was there. I liked the book. It was really a lot of religious talk, which makes sense of the time. And I'm guessing like, I mean, the Stitchy group takes place in a church, but it was just a lot of like religious images, and I'm just not really there for that, but I liked the story. I liked it. It was a good discussion, especially based on her choices. it was a good book discussion for Stitches and Pages. So I really enjoyed that. And it was a lot of fun to join that Zoom because I was able to. So that's all. I know it was a very weird one. Maybe I'll come back and film a different thing for that, but I really gotta go. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming. Stay awesome, be awesome, do good and kind things, and I will see you another time. We're gonna like have to lean over when I do these videos, so my back is always in a weird position. Anyways, okay. How do people start it? All right. Also waiting on a call from my HelloFresh delivery because they said my package couldn't be delivered because of an access code. Joke's on you, you were at the wrong building. You were at the building next door. And I don't pick up calls from people that I don't know. So I declined their call and then got a text message like, can't deliver. I was like, fuck, I needed food. I have no food. I didn't go grocery shopping because I was waiting on my HelloFresh and then they couldn't do it. Anyways, this is my third Flosstube. I count, oh God, did I even say it? Okay, let's do this again. But I was hoping if I steamed these flosses, the floss in this Stitch and Books, this is a cross stitch channel. No, it's not. Okay. Almost dropped my computer, my laptop, or my, what the fuck is this thing? My iPad. Because I didn't zip up the case it was in. But I want my notes. So where are my notes? At the beach. This is my welcome to. Okay, let's do this again. Welcome to Flosstube number 3. This is Stitch and Books. My name is Jill. That's what it is.